Cool. 1 2 2 1 1 1 1 2 2. Testing, testing. Anyone that's viewing, hello. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It's kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah. Can you rustle that?
I've got it on here, channel 1 on here.
Alright. Can you just don't talk, but just like hit it? And again? Okay, it's not doing it properly.
A very good afternoon to you. Tuning in on SCOC TV today. Armin Nor coming to you from the VBS Community Stadium. The scene for what was probably one of the most dramatic EFL games yesterday afternoon between Sutton United and Port Vale. I'm quite sure a lot of you haven't gotten over it yet. But we switch our attention from the men's team today to the women's team, and my word, have they been on a fantastic run as of late. Victory here against Hackney's women's side a couple of weeks ago brought them some optimism and hope as they've got into an FA Cup tie with Margate, and another fantastic and well-drilled performance from Duncan Muller's side saw them through into the third qualifying round of the competition. So they're only just one more game after that one to join the elite in the main section of proper rounds of the FA Cup. It's an exciting time to be in the Sutton women's team. But today they're coming up against a very well-drilled and exciting Brentford side. Brentford, who, in terms of their history as a club, have always been known since the 40s to be a second division side. For the very first time in a long time, they're in the Premier League, and with that boost, there's probably brought a new vision and a new hope to the club. And today, the women's side will try and pick up points against the Sutton team that are free scoring and enjoying their football right now. One wouldn't want to rule them out today from getting the 3 points. But any Brentford team puts up a fight, and if they give half as much as the men's team do even in today's game, you may give them a fairer chance of getting a result from here today. They're getting a good pep talk in the middle before coming in for the team huddle. You don't need me to tell you what colours they're wearing today, but it's ever present for the Bees. No, it's not the black and yellow, it is the red and white stripes with black numbers, which helps at least with identification. We haven't got an idea of who is playing for them today, so we'll go with the numbers again until I get an actual team sheet. But for Sutton today, we do have a lineup, which is the most important thing of all. The women's side are waiting their arrival, as always, to be led out by Cynthia Colliver. Was a performance last week at Margate. Sadly, we weren't there for it, and we'll get Duncan's thoughts on the game afterwards. It was a very wet day, however, as I recall, in the east of England, next to the coastline. It's actually where Tom Mitchell lives. It's not too far away from where he lives, the ground of Margate. But a fantastic I believe it was a 10-1 victory, to be specific. Watson, Keane in the goals again. They'll be sniffing for a few more today. We'll look and see if they can provide the goals for the U's this afternoon. Conditions are relatively mild. Sun's just trying to break through the clouds. Very unlike October to have something similar to warmth, but we're getting closer and closer to the warmer months. The shorter days are starting to arrive. But as the sets of players arrive on the field today, we should have hopefully a very competitive football match. Something we haven't seen in a little while is the players giving each other fist bumps. It's nice to see that traditions are slowly but surely returning to normal in our wonderful game. It's a big weekend for women's football, with the men's football club-wise on an international break in most divisions. It's taken centre stage. The Manchester derby yesterday certainly entertained. Let's hope that today we'll see just as much of an entertaining game as Sun continue to push forward in their attempts to maintain the 100% start to the season. It should be my job now to give you the starting 11 as Ethan Sykes on the PA is blaring out to you right now. I think we'll probably make it out. Sutton start today with Molly Shuri in goal, number 1. Number 8 is Gabby Howell. Our captain, Cynthia Colliver, is number 5. Amber Hedges, number 17. Number 18 is Jazz Backhurst. Number 22 is Jennifer Neves. Fern Calabria is number 4, Caitlin Savage is number 6, Sophie Hendy is number 20, Mika Key number 7, and Olivia Watson number 26. A strong setup for Duncan Muller this afternoon. He'll call off the bench the likes of number 10, ever-present goalscorer Darcy Wells, number 19 Keisha Small, number 28 Cassie Brown, number 14 Hayley Holford, and Alana Clark's also number 22. Sutton players in a huddle. One more big collective team discussion before we get underway. It's a very, very important game for the U's. As I stated, they are unbeaten this season and have started remarkably well. They're keeping the referee waiting by having that little team talk, but the girls are ready. It should be a very competitive game today. Captain Colliver comes into the middle and will meet up with the referee and the opposing captain today. I believe Ethan has a TV on Brentford, so we're going to ask him for one and see if he can lob it over to us. Hopefully he's watching. And yes, there we go. Thank you, Ethan. So we actually have names from Brentford today, so thanks to Ethan Sykes for this. But Brentford's team is as follows: number 1, Emily Boycott; number 2, Nadia Peters; number 4, Ashley Harvey; number 6, Amber Langston Lloyd; number 23, Luna Dalton; number 10, Sophie Troth, and she's the captain, who was just in the middle, as you could see a moment ago. Alexa Corianders, number 13; Jodie Reeves, number 60; Rebecca Edwards is number 70; Cara McMahon is number 21; and Ellen Wardlaw is number 24. Substitutes today are number 5, Jessica Stickley; number 7, Nicole Grulab; number 9, Caitlin Spencer-Dempsey; number 19, Shannon Reed; and number 14, Jasmine King. Brentford will kick us off with the skipper Trough. I really see a bright Sunday afternoon here at the VBS Community Stadium as we get underway. James Ball was telling me prior to the game, Brentford are relatively new themselves, but are still growing as a club as well as a team. Plenty to be excited about for, as I said, for Brentford fans right now. He's hoping that the women's side can today give Sutton a competitive game. Even last home game here at the VBS was a very convincing win in the end, but apparently women gave them a real tough ask, and on some occasions created opportunities that may on another day have, should Sutton have been on an off day, performed to brought them a decent result. Pressure coming from Watson already. That's been picked up by the goalkeeper for Brentford. I've noticed that Watson isn't in the starting level. A slight changes has been made by Muller. Clark Salter started here. Here's Keane on the edge of the penalty area, trying to loop one back towards Clark Salter. And Brentford, for the meantime, deal with it. But just to touch on what I noted a moment ago, Alana Clark Salter starting today. Looks like Watson has either had an issue in the warm-up or is carrying a knock, which has probably enforced the change. Brentford, however, have a throw-in. Just trying to work out where each of their players are playing. Troth losing possession for the opposition. Here is Calefio. Across to Jennifer Neves. Space in front of her to feed in Alana Clark Salter. And Sutton have a throw in. Oh, it's going the other way actually. The linesman pointed the flag in the wrong direction. The referee says it's a Brentford throw. But no, I was quite convinced it was. Reed bringing it down for Brentford. Clark Salter stealing it back for Sutton. Clip to the back of the ankles that time for Wardlaw. He's making up some good ground. Shuri coming out of her penalty area though to collect. Shuri, the only goalkeeper available today. So McNulty not available. Nice ball over the top for Keane. She's inside the penalty area. Can she take the chance? A good stop, mind you, from Boycott. Stood firm and used her legs to stop that one from going in. Keane is in inspired form recently, and on that occasion looks quite short to have opened the scoring. It's a good stop from the Brentford goalkeeper. Brentford having in the early stages the more of the possession, but Sutton have created the first chance. Here's the corner coming now from Backhurst. It's a high one. Alana Clark-Salter was challenging, but Brentford get it away. Here's Gabby Howell. Towards Backhurst. Trying to get away from her opponent, but McMahon, who's playing a right fullback, has dealt with it. So out to play for another Sutton throw. Backhurst throw in towards Clark-Salter, heading out again. Another opportunity for Backhurst to try and launch another throw in. Giving up with that trend I spoke about last time, wearing the opposite coloured boots. Black one on the right foot and the white one on the left foot. Here she is now, Backhurst. Another good tackle by one of the Brentford defenders, trying to work out who it was. Rebecca Edwards, number 17. Savage's ball in, away from McMahon. Comes out as far as Jodie Reed. Going up towards Horlander. It's a lovely ball by Horlander out wide now, and Brentford on the attack. Edwards trying to get the better of Cindy Colliver, and then being a bit too over the top with the aggression, trying to win the ball back ahead of King, who's won a free kick inside her own penalty area. A sign of things to come, I hope, with how Brentford have started this game. Oh, Howard just a little short, intercepted initially by Harvey. Here is her opposite number, Calapia, however. It just looks in the early stages that Sutton have to do a little better to retain possession. Brentford are matching them punch for punch at the moment. Dalton's ball across, finding Wardlaw. Clark-Salter though stealing her back for the U's and trying to release Neves. Langston Lloyd under pressure, forced back to another one of her teammates. McMahon's ball was undercooked, forced Boycott to try and clear, and Sutton have a throw in now. Neves will look to aim this in towards the penalty area. Howell. Here's Oliver. Now Hendro. Looks like the three of the back formation again for Sutton today. Duncan Mullers persisting with it. And it's worked up to a point so far this season, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the motto. Seems to be working well for Sutton here. Here's Keane thinking about the shot, which was deflected, but Boycott is right behind it. And picks up with no trouble. Basketball style throw to find Dalton. Trough. It's very much a midfield battle that Sutton are winning quite convincingly at the moment. Howell across to Neves now. Neves attempted the cross, but slashed at it. Would have hoped to get a much more cleaner strike on the ball. Measure the conditions. It's going to be a bit of one of those strange old spring days we used to as we enter the later stages of the 2021. Haven't had much of a summer, mind, but respectably warm. But there is a threat of rain around, and it may play a part in the match later on, I'm sure. Calapio turning, cul-de-sac, finding the space to play back to Hendra. Sure, he's playing the sweeper role, making sure that Sutton retain possession. Very important role nowadays for the goalkeeper. Lovely pass by Colliver to find Neves, who's made an excellent run. Squaring up to the opposing fullback. Harvey's the one who's challenging. Neves' ball though, just too close to the goalkeeper, and Boycott with no trouble catching that one. Hollander. Very strong, tall player. Did go, relatively aggressively on Howell. That I believe it was Hendra that time. Hendra stays down for a moment. And he's asking for help. Bit of a sore one by the looks of it for Amber Hendra there. Hollander, a very tall player, strong by the looks of it as well. And came in quite late on Hendra that time. Michael Muller is asking for a couple of his substitutes to just get ready in the case of making a change if Hendra cannot continue. But for the 10 minutes we've had so far, it's been a very end-to-end match. Brentford are playing as well as I anticipated they would. Possession-based game, doing their best to get the ball forward. I think that's just the process they're going with today. Get it forward and try to trouble that back three. With Sutton particularly keen to move their fullbacks high up the pitch. At points it just seems that they have found that they have the area to break in behind the two Brentford left and right back for Brentford. Maybe a contrasting element of the game later on, I'm sure. Hendra's still okay, but is asking for a change. So it looks like Duncan Muller will have to adjust the team. Keisha Smalls jogging back across. Looks like she will be asked to deputise in Hendra's position. It looks quite he's in quite some pain. Hopefully she's okay, and if able to overcome the matter, she'll be able to come back on later on. This league is a roll-on, roll-off match. Corlander's going across to just send her apologies. But Hendra is coming off. And Keisha Small will come on in her place. It's good to see that Corlander, being that tall figure, is aiming to charge up the field. And will become an important figure in their set pieces today. Nevertheless, just in this period, so we'll need to make do without Hendra. Here's Alana Clark-Salter, robbed of possession that time relatively well by Dalton. Here's Calepio, turning away from Wardlaw. Caitlin Savage. Howell. Just Buckers is tucked into that vacant left centre half position in the absence of Hendra. It's a nice ball by Backhurst to try and release Keane. One back by Troth, but Sutton have bodies around the ball and Backhurst retrieves it in that period, but they've got it back again, have Brentford. Oh, Boycott's ball was a little bit too heavy. Sutton have won a throw-in. Tenacious play from Keane to put the centre back under pressure. Small play at left back. Gets a 1-2 from Backhurst, but attempt into the box is cleared. Holding a firm line in and around the 18-yard box. Here is Colliver. Mika Keane having to come a bit deeper now than she'd like to be able to receive possession. Brentford look well drilled, they look well coached. They seem to have had some preparation for this game. They've looked back at Sutton's balls against Hackney as a reference point. Keane switching play across for Neves. Neves may not be able to get there, just a little too much on the pass. It's a lovely attempt from Keane to find her. And it may be a common practice for the majority of today's game. Ball being switched from one side to the other. Touching on the FA Cup win last weekend. As I said already, I will have been impressed with the way Sutton performed in that game, and with the hope obviously that he wants to get them into the proper rounds of the competition. Going about the way they performed against Margate last week should be a decent reference point for later on in the season. As is brought forward to find Alana Clark-Salter also pinpoint. Brentford come out with an intent to come forward. Here is Wardlaw. Neves coming with a strong challenge. Here Dawson. Sophie Troft attempted to weave one through. Keisha Small, the experienced head, cutting it out. Here she comes now for Sutton. Playing it forward for Keane, but too heavy on the pass. Another thing that more or less relevant to the game right now is that Sutton for a long time against Hackney, while having chances, didn't score until the best part of 23 minutes or so into the game last time they were here. Hackney gave them quite the challenge. Brentford are doing probably just a bit more and then some of that. Backhurst. That's Small in space. Nice block on the pass that time by the number 17, Rebecca Edwards. Fuller's asking for his forward line to try and break in ahead of the centre halves. Big opportunity for Clark-Salter today with Watson not available. We hope it's just a minor matter, nothing more. Crucial to Sutton's goal scoring this season is Watson. Clearly along with Mika Keane, as they've been a dynamic duo up front. Her pace will be missed today, but in Clark-Salter an opportunity has arisen to try and impress the manager, maybe give him a headache or two ahead of the next one. Ball throwing is cut out instantly. How with the header forwards? It's a midfield game at the moment. Calapio across to Keisha Small. Small doing very well to get away from two, but attempted to release Mika Keane. An intervention by McMahon. For Brentford, Sutton have a throw in. Small wants to send this one in towards the penalty area. Not many Sutton players looking to go in there, so the short option is probably the most viable one. And it goes from Small. Andy doing her best to keep the possession. Conceded it. Neves will recover this. Brentford not doing well with the ball themselves. Neves is taken out late that time by Wardlaw. Referee points to the free kick.
On the whistle.
Insisting it's going to be a direct one. An indirect one, my apologies. Clefio's free kick into the centre. It's flicked behind that time by Langston Lloyd. For Brentford, so I'll have another set piece, this time from the corner flag. Has Backhurst with the role of delivering this corner on her left foot. Oliver and Co waiting for that ball in. In it goes now. Heading towards goal by Kalaka initially. It's a looping header mind. Clark-Salter still has it for Sutton. Now it's Howell. Back out towards Alana Clark-Salter. Gets that cross in into the middle. It's over a large amount of bodies. Brentford again getting away. Small now for Sutton. Keeping the pressure on is key at the moment. Brentford have done enough to stop any more forward progression. Neves to Alana Clark-Salter, nicked away by number 4 in Harvey. Orlando was just drifting offside, but Oliver cuts out the pass. Here's Small. Good job by Small. Strong play to keep possession. Keane is being dragged and wins a free kick for her team. Another set piece for Jazz Buckhurst to deliver. Oliver joining the attack once again. Without Amber Hendry on the pitch, they have lost a bit of height, but there's the hope that those that are in there will try and pounce on this one. In it goes from Buckhurst. Headed away by Trough. Here's Calafio. Pass is just too much on it again, and apologies from Calafio to her captain. Minutes have gone. Very competitive game so far. Brentford have given Sutton plenty to think about in this match so far. His unbeaten run is somewhat under threat. Keisha Smalls made her moment happen on the pitch. Replacing her once again will be Amber Hendry, who's recovered from her injury. Roll on, roll off is allowed in this league, so you can make as many changes as you like. And now with Hendra back on the pitch, it looks like she's able to continue. Meanwhile, Corlander, who committed the challenge on Hendra to take her off the field for a moment, has had a knock for herself. And is just making sure she's okay. It looks like it's a blow to the face by the way she's explaining to the referee. Cindy Colliver just asking Sevi Handy to come over. And giving a bit of advice in this stage, at this stage of the game. Handy's not really been in the match so far. He's hoping she'll get the opportunity to continue shining. And substitute appearances, he's been involved in the goals. Scored against Hackney in the last home game here. Here is Hendra. Good to see that she's well and able to continue. Becca's being clicked as she released the ball. Referee I don't know if the referee noticed it. Calafio's ball towards the penalty area. Neves was making that run around the fullback, but Boycott with no trouble catching for Brentford. McMahon across. Savage just couldn't get a toe on the ball, and Brentford have a body in behind here. Options in the middle. Shuri's come out of her goal, but a modest attempt from the edge of the penalty area. I believe that was Wardlaw. It was switched wings, attempted on her right foot to have a go, and wasn't far away from hitting the target. Does look like Brentford are adopting the traditional 4-4-2 now. May have been an adjustment to the original setup. Orlando wins it back. Sutton have made the most of Brentford's inability to keep possession. They have got it here though with Edwards. A good challenge by Calepio. Dalton. Now Troth. Hendra just about adjusting herself to make sure she can retrain for the ball for the U's. Hendy out wide towards Buckhurst. Sutton trying to counter on this occasion. It's a lovely ball in towards Keane. Clark-Salter was chasing in as well, and I think Keane may have just nicked it off her. Clark-Salter was waiting for that one to fall to her. She looked more likely to score, but Keane is hungry for goals, and on that occasion just had the need to get to the ball first. Sutton have won it back again through Buckhurst. Arden Peters getting in the thick of it. Has managed to win her side of throwing. Just looking at Muller's expression, her hands in pockets, he looks very much like he's asking what's more from his side. He'll be encouraged by the fact they are trying to get forward stuff up, but also will know that Brentford are giving them quite the challenge today. McMahon knocking it forwards and have won it back through Hendra. It ends long for Hendy, but it will be no trouble for Boycott inside a penalty area. Here's Cara McMahon now for Brentford. Oh, Boycott slipped as he tried to clear it. Troth, however, flicks it on. Sutton looking to get forward. Brentford retain possession. Harvey looking forward for Edwards. Howell coming across and ensuring that Edwards won't get anywhere near the ball. Brentford do have a throw in a position of some threat. Harvey with that throw in. Corlander using her frame to get ahead of Howell. Harvey again. Chipping one towards the centre, or see outside of the box actually. Troth. King with some good defensive work. Troth's all over her. Referee will give the foul. Keane doing very well there to not only stop Troth from getting to the ball first, but winning the free kick. She does a great job in the attack, but we'll play the defensive part too, tracking back. He's playing on the left wing today. Rather than a custom central position, but is a threat in the opposing box and will play a role inside her own half as well. Hendy with the flick on. McMahon's recovering for Brentford. Boycott with a composed pass. McMahon sees an option in front of her and has found Reed in space. Oh, but her pass was not the right one, and had she got that right, Brentford could have been on the counter there. Savage, Backhurst. In towards Hendy. McMahon looks to have got through the back of her to receive possession. Hendy has stayed down for the moment. Calapio now for Sutton. On a great run so far, Calapio. Trying to thread on the pull through for Clark Salter, but no trouble for Harvey, recovering for the U's. Corlander. Edwards making the overlapping run, and it's a good run from Edwards, who's within range of the penalty area. Squaring one across, trying to find Corlander again. Reed was there too, but neither of them can retain it. Hendy is still down. Peters has possession for Brentford. He gets a tackle in. The referee hasn't stopped the game, and Muller's making that point clear. Sutton are defending with 10 at the moment. Hendy's been down for more or less a full minute with clasping the back of her leg. And now Molly Shuri has picked up the ball. The referee can now stop the game. Hendy still trying to indicate, I think, or is indicating that she's had a problem with the right thigh. Is back on to help out. So that for Sutton will have been a worrying period. It's been a while since they've been able to get a decent ball into the box or find a player in space to break in behind the defence. Then slowly but surely, Brentford have come into the game again. Sutton are certainly struggling to win the midfield battles as well at this point. Yeah, they'll probably want to. Brentford wants to keep that pressure going. Sutton will need to muster some of that ability the men's side showed yesterday from coming from behind against Port Vale. It's the hope that they can start to find their feet in the game again and push Brentford back towards their own penalty area. But for the meantime, Brentford showing just as much character and persistence and passion as the men's team do in the Premier League. Putting a performance in that will, I hope, impress not only their coaches but any Brentford fans who are watching this game today. Delighted to have you with us this afternoon from the VBS Community Stadium, or Gandhi Green as we know it. Henley's back on her feet, and there's some discomfort clearly. Looks like Duncan Muller won't take a risk in causing Henley to continue in the immediate future. So Darcy Wells will come on now to try and orchestrate the attack. Henley had been playing as the sole striker through the middle in the three-player attack for Sutton. So Hendy off, Wells on. Is the so on comes Sutton's ever-present and clinical goal scorer Darcy Wells. Like Mika Keane, loves scoring in these league games. Picked up one for herself. Tessa always need a few chances, but once she scores, she can't stop. Can actually contribute for Sutton today. Neves making the breaking run. Boycott getting out to grab the ball. Harvey did just about enough to stop Neves from getting there. Boycott's clearance goes straight to Caitlin Savage. Troth getting a foot in for Brentford. Good work from Wardlaw on the right hand side, getting away from Savage. Peters is in support on the right hand side. It's a lovely ball from Wardlaw to find Peters. Peters crossing it in towards Corlander. Calepio intervenes, and then a foul on Calepio in the end has given Sutton a free kick. Another threatening attack for Brentford. It is quite safe to say now, Sutton will need to buck up their trends in the next 15 or so minutes. Brentford are giving them a very hard time. That ball in from Peters was aimed for Corlander, who, as the tall figure in the penalty area, was the obvious target. Would feel unlucky to have not seen the ball coming towards her that time. Actually doing a sterling job at the back as ever to retrieve it back for Sutton. Oh, two Brentford players bump into each other as Clark Salter starts to run away from the red and white shirts. Neves. Clark Salter. Here's Savage. Good composure from Savage. Going for the long shots, and I have to give her credit for having a go. Just going over the crossbar, but some threat so far for something for Sutton to chew on. Keep the threat of the opening goal in their hands at the moment. Ashley Harvey. Corlander. Edwards making that run again. She clearly is faster than Neves. Oh, and in the end, Colin doing due diligence and using that experience to her advantage. Clark Salter can't retain possession though. Leah Dalton now for Brentford. It's a lovely pass that time by Sophie Troth. But fortunately, her teammate Wardlaw on the right hand side couldn't keep it. So I'd have another throw in. Mono barking instructions at his defence, urging him to get it out sooner. Nice to see there is a crowd here today. And it now looks like a lot more pleasant Sunday afternoon. Here's Calepio. Now Gabby Howell. Jennifer Neves. Getting away from Edwards. Cork just about keeping it in play. And then Harvey getting a body in front of the ball. Wins a throw for her side. Unlucky that time was Sturdy Reed. Trying to keep it in play. Neves for Sutton. Keane made that run very well. Darcy was attempted to support, but Brentford deal with it. So win it back here through Savage. Calapio. Just back her sees Keane making the run, but Nadia Peters covers it well. Gets the ball first. There's a throw in. Keane is taking a bit of a knock. She's all right. So to say, Mika Keys bet her match on that right hand side in Nadia Peters. Kept her going stride for stride and has the pace to deny Keane the ability to break in behind that Brentford defence as much as she'd like to today. 10 minutes to half time, still 0-0. Brentford doing a sterling job of not only keeping themselves in the game, but forcing Sutton to have to change the way they play today. Going for a different approach. Usually it's always to get players in behind the opposition defence and dominate the midfield. Well, this afternoon is a completely different prospect. Here's Amber Hendra. Calafio. Back to Hendra. He has to be quick because Dalton's applying the pressure. Howell. Jennifer Neves. Howell sees Wells, and Wells coming deep to get the ball for Sutton, but has lost out in that battle. McMahon saw Axel Corlando in front, but not able to get to a teammate. Hendra. He's surrounded by red and white shirts, loses possession in the midfield. Corlander wanted a foul, won't get one. Brentford are really giving Sutton a hard time in the midfield. But in Sutton's case, they should really try to keep their composure. The more that Brentford will squeeze the space in the middle, opens up areas out wide for Sutton to get that ball across the likes of Keane and Clark-Salter. The more they try and do that in this game, the likely that they'll find the opportunities. Dalton to Keane. Neves is making that wide run, but Keane has denied the opportunity to pass it across. Howell. Initially, Edwards got a foot on the ball, but Neves recovered for Sutton. Here is Rebecca Edwards. Now Leah Dalton across to Slurpee Trough. It's been won back by Cara Wardlaw. Now McMahon. Going back to goalkeeper boycott. Ball has come deep. Nadia Peters going a bit, just advancing forward for the minute while Wardlaw covered in her right back position. 8 minutes to half time. It's good skill by Wardlaw to control the ball but loop it over her head. Here's Colliver. We've seen a few tough games like these before. I know that it'll take more than just attacking talent and goal scoring to beat Brentford today. Gabby Howe, back to captain. Looping on over the top. Peters getting across. Now Troth. Here's Wardlaw. And Keane coming across to block her clearance. Duncan Muller would like to see Sutton try and open the scoring before half time. Just not only changes the team talk, but so that he can adjust the team to become more forward thinking. I'm sure they are in that mode of mentality right now of just trying to retrieve possession, keep control of the game when they have the ball. Doing exactly that right now with Hendra. Keane. It's good work from Keane. Backhurst is making the run. Keane keeping possession here now for Sutton. He's kept it just a bit too long. Neves was hoping to get that pass a little sooner. Axel Corlander. Jody Reed. Leah Dawson's touch was a bit heavy. Now Alana Clark-Salter, but she's pulled up. That's unlucky for Sutton and for Clark-Salter. Here's Edwards. Back to Harvey. She's come off of Wells last, and I'm afraid it looks like Alana Clark-Salter's day is coming to an end. So Sutton throwing according to the ref, but Clark-Salter pulled up, and it looked like instantly it was, yeah, it looks like her calf or hamstring, one of the two. Does not look like that she's going to be able to continue. And Sutton have already lost Olivia Watson for today's game. So Clark-Salter having a problem with what she's indicating is her thigh. We'll have to wait and see if it is going to help allow her to continue, or will Sutton just relieve her of the risk of getting any further injury. Well, safe to say the first half has been interesting, different to what I've seen of the women's side this season. They're known to be a free scoring and positive thinking side, but they've certainly met their match today in this Brentford team, who've not only challenged them and battled them across the pitch, but are not afraid to create their own chances. Have been potent when they've been anywhere near the Sutton penalty area. Sutton had a couple of opportunities very early on, but since that rapid start, haven't looked anywhere near sharp up front. Wells is indicating, as I feared, that Clark-Salter will not be able to continue. And it does look like she had that. What she's pulled up with is just a bit too painful for her to continue today. That's the end of her afternoon, sadly. So, some more injury problems for Sutton now. Watson missing today, and now Clark-Salter's coming off with something with it looks like her left calf. Hopefully nothing worse than that. We'll get an idea of what that may be later on from Duncan Muller in the post-match interview. But for the meantime, Hayley Hawford is making her way to the touchline. She will come on in place of Clark-Salter. Is in some pain. Have to hope for nothing more than the best for her. Does mean we'll have some additional time at the end of this first half, but more importantly, we hope that Alana's okay. Down comes Hawford. Clark-Salter would have worn Watson's number today, but wore her normal number. It's a shame that she has to come off with her injury. But Hayley Hawford is an ever dependable player in the Sutton team. Happy to play anywhere on the pitch in the attacking line. Can chip in with a goal or two if an opportunity comes for her. With 90 seconds to go in the first half, we are due to have a substantial amount of additional time. This game is finally balanced at 0-0. Savage with a ball wide for Jazz Backhurst to chase. Wardlaw recovering with her. And at best, to giving Sutton a throw-in. They have defended very well. And I'll say it once, I'll say again, they do look very well drilled. It's an encouraging sign for the Brentford coaching staff. Can they keep that pressure going in the second half? Throw in from Backhurst in towards Halford for the physical presence in the Sutton attack. Try their best to play it back to Backhurst, but has seen that ball roll out for a Brentford throw-in. So reaching the 45, I anticipate we'll have just around 3 to 4 minutes of additional time. Calafio fouled by Leo Dalton. Stand free kick with some threat. There is now an obvious lack of height. Halford is the tallest player Sutton have in this attack. Oliver's even taller than her, but he's taking the free kick. In it goes towards Halford. We get some contact on the ball, and it looked, Boycott was forced into a save. Halford's first impact on the game, and directing an effort on goal forced Boycott to parry it past the post. Starting to have another corner. It's a fine delivery from Cindy Colliver. Has one of those in the locker if needs be, and did very well to find Halford breaking in behind the defence. I feel unlucky to have not found the net on that occasion. Neves with Sutton's corner now. Towards the back post. Colliver's there. It's just over her head. Rebecca Edwards chasing it down. Halford getting in there with a good challenge. And limiting Brentford to a throw-in and nothing more. We are in stoppage time. We don't know exactly how much, but I anticipate to be 2 to 3 minutes. Probably more for the injury to Alana Clark-Salter and Amber Hendry in the first half. Hollander playing it back towards Trough, but there's nobody in the Brentford colours up the field. Howell sees Darcy Wells in space. McMahon with a good touch to get away from her, but Halford wins it back for Sutton, feeding it for Keane now. Squares up to Peters, gets away from Peters with a shot, and it's at the near post. Boycott saw that one off. They're finishing a little stronger now, Sutton, similar to how they started the game. So they have that at least to hang on to, but Muller in general will not be overly impressed with how they've played in this first half. So he's a man who demands a lot from his side, and will probably remind them in the changing room at half time that there's a lot more his side can do to get ahead in this game. Boycott's goal kick. Peters getting a touch of the ball, but it was behind her. So I'd have another throw in. Flicking over her head, trying to control possession. Skillen to use another opportunity to try and squeeze another chance in. Darcy Wells to the back post. Neves is there. I think it came, yes it did. It came off of Rebecca Edwards. It's going to be one more Sutton corner. Neves did well to get alongside Edwards and put the pressure on. Would have hoped for it to fall to her instead. So Jazz Backhurst with another corner. Oliver Calafio and Halford waiting for it. In it goes from Backhurst, aiming towards Colliver. Oh, it was going towards goal, and I believe it was Dalton who's on the post who cleared it away. Wells for Sutton. Good intervention by Ashley Harvey. That was an important intervention by Dalton there. I couldn't tell you who directed the header towards goal, but also did the job as any player should on the post, stopping it from going in. Axel Corlander. Edwards took it away from her teammate. Would have been better suited to leaving it to the striker. Calafio. Howell. Slowly patrolling into the Brentford half. Jennifer Neves. Hayley Hawford. Cut out that time. It's good work from Ashley Harvey. Trips over the ball but was brought down by Hawford in the process. It's a free kick to Brentford. We're in the... Well, we've stopped our clock on our scoreboard. I anticipate now we are, best part of 4 minutes into the 49th, 50th minute of the second half now. So I dare say this might be the last opportunity for Brentford. Harvey's asking for the option. Or there was a lack thereof of such option upfield. Here's Keane. To go back to a goalkeeper, and there is the half-time whistle. What's the game? This match, despite it being 0-0, has been nothing void of a competitive tie between these two sides. Brentford have had a couple of opportunities to get inside the Sutton box. Sutton's best chances have fallen to Hayley Hawford and Jennifer Neves, who just had an opportunity, who just about forced a corner over the crossbar. Other than that, that's been most of the first half. It's been relatively comfortable in midfield and bogged down, but Brentford are giving Sutton a hard time this afternoon. Plenty to chew on at half time here, but it is 0-0 between Sutton United women and Brentford women. We'll be back for the second half in a few minutes, so do join us then. Welcome back everyone to the VBS Community Stadium for the second half of this league game between Sutton United women and Brentford women. It's been a very interesting game. Sutton have been the more aggressive of the two sides. They've been they look the more threatening, but Brentford have matched them in areas of the pitch that we normally see Sutton do relatively well in. And this afternoon we have seen a football match that will be, I'm quite sure, an interesting 45 minutes ahead. Plenty for the coaching staff, Duncan Muller and his players to have discussed over the 15 or so minutes between half time and the beginning of this second half. Cindy Colliver just discussing with the referee one or two matters of interest. Stuff that will have caught him out, I'm sure. It's been a nice day. Less clouds now. So the threat of rain is slowly but surely abating. It doesn't look like we will have a wholly dry pitch for these players to play on. It's well kept, however, especially after the matches we had here yesterday. Still looks very, very good. As we get into the winter months, it will take its toll. A fair few miles to go on this surface. Plenty of football to come here very, very shortly, not just in the women's team. There's a hope that they can continue to utilise this wonderful surface they're playing on. Second half underway. Dalton getting involved early. It looks like the message is clear from Duncan Muller. Get at them and quickly. Boycott wearing a cap for the second half. The Brentford keeper getting a clearance as far away from her penalty area as possible. Brentford want to throw in. And unfortunately that time for Jodie Reed, she couldn't control that ball. Yet to see when they're out for the second half. He's just appearing now. Nice throwing from Neves, finding Wells. Jazz Backhurst is at the back post, but the ball across is slashed wide by Wells. So a quick reminder of the two sets of players for you. For Sutton today, it's Shuri, Howell, Oliver and Hendra as a back three. You have Backhurst and Neves playing both wing back roles, Glepio and Savage in the middle, and then Hayley Hawford playing as the attacking midfielder behind. Two strikers of Mika Keane and Darcy Wells. No Olivia Watson today for an unknown reason, isn't here. So Alana Clark-Salt, who started the game in her place, picked up an injury and went off towards the end of the first half. And is not likely to return, so Sutton are working with limited attacking options. I'll tell you Brentford's side in a moment. Here is Darcy Wells. Looking to feed in Hawford, but it's gone out of play for a Sutton throw. Brentford's side is as follows. Emily Boycott's the goalkeeper. Nadia Peters, Ashley Harvey, Amber Langston-Lloyd, Luna Dalton, Sophie Trough, Axel Corlander, Jodie Reed, Rebecca Edwards, Cara McMahon and Ellen Wardlaw. Here is Jodie Reed. Wardlaw who switched across the pitch in the first half, left to right. Wardlaw's playing the right midfield role now, and Edwards on the left. Savage. Wells. Oh, she's clipped Luna Dalton, and the referee's asking to talk to Darcy. I think this is going to be just the talking to. You hear a bit of a thud when Wells was challenging for that one. And Dalton is okay and able to continue in the match. We're just talking to Jodie Reed, who I'm sure had one or two choice things to say about that last challenge by Wells. Here is Reed's free kick. And Wells wins it back, it falls over the ball, and Dalton getting back at Wells immediately. Sutton have a free kick. Keep an eye between those two. It's clear that Dalton is quite interested in rattling Wells's cage. Oliver's free kick, headed away by McMahon. Savage. Wells trying to chip one in towards the penalty area, but it's going to be rolling out of play for a goal kick for Brentford. McMahon having to get there before Keith apply the pressure. Peters recovers for Brentford. The ball came off of Keane, but the referee's pointed for a Sutton throw. Well, Peters asking the referee why that wasn't a throw for Brentford, but there's similar level of controversy to Sutton's equaliser in the men's game yesterday. Also thumping that one clear. So another Sutton throw. Like I was talking to someone in the crowd. Backhurst throwing away by Peters, out as far as Wardlaw. Wells getting her foot in and poking it out of play. Peters throwing, good header by Keane. Wells trying to loop one over Harvey. She leads in with her arm. Referee says it was with her chest. Opts to continue the game despite Sutton protests. Hendra. Calafia back to Colliver. Now Gabby Howell. Sees Neves making the run in front of her, opts to play it towards her. Hayley Hallford. Unlucky that time. Hallford in attempts to turn it back to her right fullback. Brentford are under pressure though, and Sutton win it back initially through Wells. Edwards getting involved, winning it for the home opposition. Neves in a tussle with Ashley Harvey. Dalton. Savage winning it for Sutton. Backhurst in plenty of space down this side. Has received it well and has room to run into. Feeds it in towards Keane, who is wide of the goal. Inside the penalty area. Peters touch tight to her. And then McMahon comes across to support her teammates. Keane wants a foul, won't get one. Backhurst keeps it going for Sutton. Savage crosses blocks. And again, and then McMahon eventually gets it away. So Brentford for just a moment, feeling a bit of pressure, but Sutton have done well enough to keep Brentford inside their half. So Rackhurst will take this throw in. Wells making herself available. There's a 1-2 with Backhurst. Nice pass in a narrow space to find Keane. Don't know why, but I'm used to October as being really cold, but it's quite pleasant today, and same for yesterday to be honest. So I'm getting plenty of the sunshine. Hallford's ball across, no one in the amber and chocolate could get there, and Boycott picks up inside her penalty area. Now Brentford are looking to threaten the Sutton line, the back line again with Edwards. Has options across the fields. Ball's just too long for Sophie Troth. The Brentford captain does get there, but the flag will go up against Cara Wardlaw, who just got ahead of the play. Backhurst is asking why we don't have any ball girls or boys around to retrieve them. Makes a fair point. I think since the pandemic started, we've had ball boys or ball girls around in any match. Players had to ask the crowd or they've had to go over the fence themselves to retrieve the ball. It would help speed up the game a bit more. Yes, it is a Sunday, mind, so not sure many of the parents would be willing to let them come over and help them out, but anything to support the club. South's future, I'm sure, well, very good hands at the present moment. Generally, doing not as much as possible to keep under control, but has given another opportunity for Sutton to get forward. Here's Keane. Holford. Sandwiched between two there. Wins a free kick for Sutton. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Best opportunity of note was in the first by Holford, who broke in behind the Sutton defence, Brentford defence I should say, and forced the save out boycott just before half time. Calefio's ball in, McHart stretching to get there. Wells recovers for Sutton initially, but Peters getting it as far away as possible from the Brentford penalty area. Colliver limping one up. Holford's onside, inside the penalty area. Brings it down nicely, Holford. Goes up towards goal, tries to square it across. She was forced wide in the end. And it was good recovery work by Peters to get it away at the expense of a Brentford corner. Very good play that time by Holford. Driving in on her own against this. There's two red and white Brentford players, and they simply couldn't deal with her on that occasion. Well, unlucky to be forced wide, but Sutton have another chance to take the lead from this corner. Neves with the ball in. It's over everyone's heads, and Trough will recover here for Brentford. It's just a bit too long. Oh, but it's got ahead of Hendra, the number 9 for Brentford. And the coaching staff as well. Absolutely stunned at the referee's decision to give the foul for Amber Hendra. Should confirm, the number 9 who's on the pitch now, Caitlin Spencer Dempsey, replaced Axel Corridel at half time, and she felt for all the world she was in when she got round Hendra. The referee gave the foul to Sutton. The coaching staff are livid, and I think one of them is going to be either given a stern talking to or get booked, and I dare say it may be the latter. The referee was not happy with what was said on that occasion. Coaching staff nowadays, managers or co, can all get booked for stuff that is said out of turn in matches. The referee has resisted the use of the card and will go with the stern talking to for now, but Brentford will, I think Sutton can count themselves lucky that the referee gave the foul on that occasion. Backhurst with the cross in. Oh, comes out to Harvey. Neves down to Holford. Looking a bit more positive now, desperate to get that first goal. Key chips one into the box, but yes, again, no one's there. And Boycott just had to be careful the bounce didn't go over her head. Oh, Peters' pass going out of play. Bearing in mind, they do have the sun in their eyes, the Brentford players attacking the Gander Green Lane end in the second half. It won't be as simple for them to play those balls over the top. Backhurst trying to get as much yards up the field as possible. Wells and Keane moving around. It's Keane who receives a throw in. Backhurst controlled it well the first time. Peters getting in front of the ball and winning a throw for Brentford.
Mika, a couple more on time. Just do wing, do line.
Keep it clean, everybody.
Keane with the header. Here's Troth. Peters keeping it alive for Brentford. Right under Spencer Dempsey's leg. She's asking for a foul on that occasion. Amber Hedgewood didn't do more than a tiny shot. Neves making the ground up for the U's. And Harvey has poked it out of play for a throw-in. Hawthorne with the header forwards. Did it come off a Brentford player last? Nope. It was Hawthorne's header. And it's gone out of play for a goal kick. All of it is, I'm sure, hoping that Sutton's, the team talking in the second half, will have some impact in the outcome of this game. We will have been impressed with elements of the first half, but it's yet to see an overly dramatic improvement, other than the relatively good start to the second half. Hawford's opportunity being again the best. Safe to say she's been the most animated player in the opposing penalty area since she's come on, having 2 opportunities at goal. Backhurst with the throw-in. Wells could not bring it under control. Here's Troth. Brought down well, and here is Wardlaw now. Only Spencer Dempsey in front of her. Eventually pressure from Backhurst. Saw her concede possession, and Dalton hurried in possession and giving away a throw for Sutton. Backhurst propelling forward. This game gets all the more compelling as it goes along. And it goes towards Hawford. Wells against Dalton again, but Dalton comes up better. Backhurst kept it in play, just about. She toe poked it towards Mika Keane, and Keane could do as much as she can to keep it in, but the ball rolled out before she could get there. McMahon, Wells doing her best to get a foot in. Goes down, wins a free kick. Felt the smallest contacts from McMahon, and has earned Sutton an opportunity to put the ball into the box. Change of foot. Cassie Brown is coming on. Caitlin Savage is going to be asked to come off.
Number 6, 5 minutes. Number 6, Caitlin Savage.
There's a running theme in our team group chat. Cassie Brown only scores screamers. She's scored 2 brilliant goals so far for Sutton every time she's come off the bench so far this season. She comes on now in a different scenario. She gets involved in the attack instantly. Calafio's free kick. Boykos dropped it. It's right as she manages to recover. There was a collision in the end between herself and I think that's Backhurst. Yes, it is. Who's still down inside the goal. It's all right, however. Boycott that time did not get a firm grip on the ball, and it allowed Backhurst and one of her teammates to charge in to try and challenge for it. In the end, we'll be glad to have picked it up inside her own penalty area again. Gets away with it for now. Peters, her touch of the ball lacked the patience needed to get Brentford forward. Sutton have another throw in. It's all been inside the Brentford half this game so far. Hendra. Too many Sutton players are offside, so Hendra's attempt to get it forward was thwarted by the fact they were not back in position. Troth has got the ball back. Spencer Dempsey doing a bit too much aggression in the Sutton defence. Calapia takes the free kick quickly. Or it's flicked in for Wells to chase him behind, and Boycott's out early. He's flopped it. Wells! Oh, it's just wide. Again, there's another missed opportunity for Sutton. And Boycott will feel all the more relieved to see that one flying past, as Wells struck for goal. Probably had the entire game wrapped up right there in front of her, and will have been glad to see that going wide. Boy, did Brentford count them their chickens just then. They do make adjustments. Leah Dalton has come off. Just to work out who's come on, it's the number 14, and it's Jasmine King, who's moved into that centre midfield position. Ball's coming to the box for Mika Keane. Keane on the turn, shoots for goal! It's a save that's hit the post! What a stop by Boycott again! Certainly has made up for that moment where she almost conceded the goal for Brentford there, with a very good stop to deny Mika Keane. Good stop from Boycott. In it goes from Backhurst. Sutton now have a head of steam at last. Jazz Backhurst crosses it into the middle, and Boycott this time grabs with both arms. I don't blame her if she takes a bit more time with it in her hands. McMahon out to Peters. Cassie Brown getting a head on the ball and knocking it out of play. 25 minutes to go, still 0-0. But Sutton United have improved in this second half. Slowly but surely. Here is King, the substitute. Backhurst keeping the forward motion for Sutton going. Wells. Halford. Halford going back towards her teammates. It's better safe than sorry at this point. Howell with the launch forward. Is Wells onside? Well, the flag stays down, but she couldn't keep control of possession. Trough with a backwards header, finding Keane. Keane, in a cul-de-sac, hurried with her decision making and lost possession for just a moment. Calapia across to Backhurst. Quite a compelling game this now. Brown forwards. Sees the option in Neves in front of her. Neves tries to cover the ground and Boycott picks it up. I wish we could show you replays of that fabulous stop from Boycott a few minutes ago. Just before that, she dropped the ball inside her penalty area, and with Wells seeing the goal at her mercy, could not put it away. You'd have thought then Sutton would start to threaten a bit more. They did. Keane's left-footed drive stopped brilliantly by the goalkeeper. Wells now for Sutton, getting that ball into the penalty area. Boycott's missed it. Wardlaw's trying to support Peters and has managed to get it clear, with Backhurst and Keane both charging in. It is safe to say Sutton are on top now. I think it may just be one moment of special talent or brilliance that will give them the lead here. Came off of... Did it came off of Peters or Halford? The referee says it came off Halford. From our vantage point, it may have come off Peters. I think Sutton are doing their best to encourage the team to keep going in this second half. I'm talking to one of his coaches. Halford, with some running Mika Keane would be proud of. Nadia Peters. Wardlaw trying to break ahead of Hendra, but Hendra's recovering well for Sutton. Amber Hendra punting one up towards Halford. comes down as far as Mika Keane. Peters. It's just over Reed's head on that occasion. Calafia being pressured by Jasmine King. Cassie Brown. Will count herself lucky the deflected pass has found Wells. Neves has space to run into. Can she get there? No, just going out of play before Neves could get a touch on the ball. It's going to be a throw-in for Brentford. Ooh, collision there between Halford and Harvey. Neves, 1-2 with Keane. Rebecca Edwards across with a tackle. It's another Sutton throw-in. Howell is coming across to launch this throw-in into the box. Colliver's joined in along with Halford, who's in there. And it goes from Howell, flicked on by Halford towards goal, but Boycott manages to recover. Nadia Peters. Sophie Trop under pressure from 3 Sutton players. Opted to go safe back to her goalkeeper. 20 minutes to go, it's still 0-0. This game is as compelling as advertised. Brentford have given Sutton an incredibly difficult time, but the U's have been the better side in this second half as this match has progressed in the second 45. The U's just have to continue showing character. Mind you, Hendricks losing possession hasn't helped. Wardlaw inside the penalty area from Brentford. Spencer Dempsey's there with the opportunities to go for goal, but Wardlaw decided to go alone. And Shuri did well picking it up. Hasn't had much to do today, but first real test at goal, she's done well. Mika Keane now for Sutton. Ricochets back off her, and she's still going, Keane. McMahon for Brentford. Backhurst getting there ahead of Peters. Still Backhurst. Keys cross up towards the edge of the penalty area. Attempted to switch play at the very least. Calafio. Here's Cassie Brown. Out to Halford. Neves. Brown again. Composed and calm play from Cassie Brown. In it goes again from Howell. Jazz Backhurst attempted to go first time, and I'm sure she'd have liked to have had a much more keener connection with the ball. Gabby Howell outfoxing Edwards. Great running from Gabby Howell now. Sutton desperate, need that goal. In it goes towards Wells. Comes out to the back post. Key with time and space. Key still. Mika Key for Sutton. Another good save by Boycott. Blimey, are we having a football match today? $18 minutes to go. It's still 0-0. Backhurst across again for this, what feels like the up-teeth corner for Sutton United. In it goes from Jazz Backhurst. Colliver's there, so is Halford. As far as Wells. Came off of the arm of one of the Brentford players. Didn't get the attention of the referee, however. Brentford have it get as far away as possible from McMahon. Hendra is recovering for Sutton. Starts to turn the momentum the U's way. An intervention by Edwards. The crowd getting right up for this one now. Brentford are preparing another change. See who it's going to be that comes on. Coming off is the number 16, Jodie Reed. In her place. Get some more applause from those who are supporting her along her today. Number 19, Sharon Reed, I should say. Sharon Reed on for Jodie Reed. One Reed for another. This one is spelled R-E-A-D. Keane, nice ball in towards Wells, but her first touch was too heavy. And there wasn't no trouble for Emily Boycott on that occasion. Boycott's clearance. Brentford see an opportunity to possibly nick this game. But with Sutton having the momentum, you can't rule them out for scoring. Jazz Buckhurst with this opportunity now for the U's. Throw in on this near side. Off it goes, it's over the head of Peters, but she's recovered well as the Brentford right full-back. Ball's rolled under the fence, getting some help from the crowd. Brown's flicks on header, she kept it inside the penalty area. Brentford get it away, Spencer Dempsey now. Asking for help. With limited help, manages nothing more than to just give the ball right back to Sutton United. Here's Gabby Howell. Jennifer Neves. Harvey getting a foot in and giving Sutton nothing more than the throw. Howell's throw in, it's over a few heads, it's found Darcy Wells, options in the middle. Nadia Peters with some very good defending. Getting that one under control and knocking it as far away from Buckhurst and King as humanly possible. We're in for a tense finish now, everyone. So stick with us. Anything could happen here. Buckhurst throw in. Wardlaw keeping it alive for Brentford and getting it away once again. It is safe to say that Brentford have been stuck inside their own half a lot more in the second half than they were in the first. Buckhurst takes the time. Goes with a short option in Wells. Hendra. Oh, it's been nicked away by Wardlaw initially. Colliver goes in for the 50-50 and they get him off of Wardlaw last. Sutton have a throw in. Wardlaw protesting her case that should have been a Brentford throw instead. Sutton's run so far this season has been perfect in the league. But they're coupled up with their FA Cup run. There's been plenty to be cheerful about if you're a Sutton United fan right now. High foot by Darcy Wells, just glancing the side of Peter's head. Peters is okay. Just making sure it's there's nothing more than the grace to the face. Cara McMahon with this free kick. Just over the header, Spencer Dempsey. Cindy Colliver under pressure. Wardlaw from a long way out, and Molly Shuri comfortably satisfied to see that one going over the crossbar. Brentford at the moment, I do feel smash and grab may be the most suitable option at this point. Wardlaw's doing a good job down that right side to win it. Here is Spencer Dempsey. The attempt inside the box from Reed wasn't a good one. Sutton have got bodies behind the ball, and now Buckhurst wants to start this counter attack. Punting one up for Reed to pick up. Keane into space for Wales. Wales inside the penalty area. McMahon has been solid at the back today. Recovers it again for Brentford. Here is Sharon Reed. One back by Cassie Brown. Tenacious play. Halfers in support. So is Keane. Keane gets away from Peters. Still Mika Keane now for Sutton. Into the box and McMahon again gets across. Another Sutton corner. Certainly running out of digits on my hands for the amount of corners they've had today. Backhurst spotting this one. The usual candidates are waiting for this corner. And I think Backhurst is shot across towards the edge of the goal line. Brentford gets it clear. Comes out as far as Wales, who's not far away with their effort, but would have been more satisfied to see it closer to the target. With the crossbar on that occasion. Troth trying to get across for a teammate, but it's gone over her head and out of play. But you are now in the 10 minutes of normal time remaining in this league game. Toughest match so far this season has been the Meridian Ladies' time, the first qualifier of the FA Cup. This one we may consider to be just as challenging. Colliver. Brought down well by Cassie Brown. Neves is a lot higher up the pitch and is having to support at the moment, tracking back. Calepio for Sutton. Troth for Brentford, looping one up now. Spencer Dempsey recovering. Went down under the what was her feeling was a challenge. Hendra didn't make by any means contact. Here is Howell. Wells chasing this one down. She's got ahead of McMahon. Nice pass, finding Hayley Halford. Halford in the penalty area, an excellent block once again by Langston Lloyd. Time ticks away in this really competitive league game. It's another Sutton United corner. Jennifer Neves will take this one. In it goes from Neves. And Colliver's at the back post, but her header is wide of the mark. It'll be just the goal kick for Brentford for now. I had a few seconds on, obviously, because the goalkeeper has to go and retrieve the ball. Been a busy day today for Emily Boycott. She's had a few shaky moments, but when called upon, has made two brilliant stops. Sharon Reed could not orchestrate the Brentford counter-attack. Wins it again though for her team. Wardlaw's in all sorts of space. The flag will stay down on her on this occasion. Loops across it towards Spencer Dempsey. Jury's come out early though and manages to grab as Spencer Dempsey came in at the last. And Shuri took a blow in the process. This is something Sutton don't need, obviously, a goalkeeping issue, because Shuri is the only available goalkeeper. McNulty not in the team at all today. Shuri's ball high into the air. Brown with the header. Comes down for Fern Calepio. Here is Cassie Brown. It's a great run from Brown, making up so many yards. Unfortunately, Wells and Keane made the runs just too soon. Brown doing everything she can to keep this attack going. Calefio again. Has a control with her head did round that time. Backhurst. Oh, it's a great run from Wells. Can she get there ahead of Boycott? Boycott making a mess of the initial attempt to grab the ball, but manages to retrieve it in the end. Oh, this is such a lively finish, everyone. I dare say a grandstand finish. Backhurst. Just get it under control some way, somehow. Brown with a lovely pass to find Neves. Just going backwards, unfortunately. Halford. Neves again. Howell finding Halford. It's been nicked away by Trough. Spencer Dempsey wants to get Brentford forward, but Sutton instantly pressure the possession holder. Nadia Peters got to make sure her decision is correct here, and the best she can do is clear it as far out as possible for another Sutton throw. Brentford will make another change. It looks like Karen Wardlaw is going to be coming off. Indeed, and Jessica Stickley will be coming on for the final 5 or so minutes. Wardlaw's been the basically got Sutton for having Jennifer Neves. Wardlaw has been for Brentford in this second half, causing all sorts of problems down the wide areas. Has played on both sides in this match, and could have had an assist or two today. Here's Neves, great turn, finding Halford in the penalty area. Ball comes out towards Cassie Brown. Brown shoots, and she has scored better goals this season. Unfortunately, that one is considerably wide of the goalposts. New ball, please. That's time is running out for both sides to sneak a winner. Give them all the all-important points in this league campaign. Sutton trying to keep their 100% record going. Fern Calefio. Amber Hendra. Oh, Spencer Dempsey was so close to stealing that one. Halford. Halford's forced backwards, was taken to take a bit of a clip in the process, supposed to be to the back of her leg, and has won a Sutton free kick. A lot more central than the ones they've taken today, so Cindy Colliver will have to think about this one. Howell was tempted to take it, was asking her captain if she'd rather be in the box instead. Colliver opts to go with the shorter option in Howell. Howell's effort into the box goes towards Boycott, but there's a shot in the end, not so much across. Reed brought down well for the new sub Stickley to win back. She's done very well to get it back for Brentford. The ball did unfortunately just go out of play as Stickley attempted to keep it in. 3 minutes to go in what's been it's been entertaining to say the least, even at 0-0. And I have to say, Brentford, as I said at the top of the show, have been well-driven, look a very well-coached side. Are they going to get something from this game, or will Sutton steal the points again? In a similar fashion as how the men's did it yesterday. Just with a bit less of the drama. Howell, Jennifer Neves. Brentford players and those in attendance are encouraging their team with every opportunity that goes away for Sutton. Long throw again from Howell. Wells tries to hook it over her head, and the slashed attempt backwards was gracefully put into the hands of Emily Boycott. Wells stayed down after that one. She's clasping, I think, her wrist, and it's quite a sore injury by the looks of it. She's one tough player, and normally takes a fair few tackles, but today, just today, Sissy's come on has definitely animated the game a lot more than we originally thought. 90 seconds of this match left. Boycott's appearance up the field. Cassie Brown has been incredible since she's come on in this match. Rebecca Edwards has the pace over Amber Hendra. Options in the middle for her to pick out. In it goes towards Spencer Dempsey with a unique attempt to direct it goalwards. And we'll think for Sutton in their case, they'll be happy to see that one flash past the post. Back-heeled attempt, which I'm sure would have gone down as one of the finer goals I've seen scored here this season. Seen one scored in the FA Cup here a little while ago. Holford battling with Ashley Harvey. Sutton have it back. We are pretty much now in the dying embers of the game. Langston Lloyd's header is picked up by Wells. Gets away from two Brentford players. Into the box. Keane is there. It's whipped over Peters. Clears away by Edwards. How much additional time? Well, we don't know, unfortunately, because there's no fourth official. The subs board isn't being used to tell us how much added time. We're at the mercy of the referee now as we reach the 90. Howell. Wells. Nevis was making that run as always, but cut out well by Brentford. They're hanging on here. Doing everything possible to stop Sutton from coming forward. They have a throw in at least. And it's at this point that they decide that it's a good opportunity to waste a bit of time. Starting to see a little bit of frustration in the Sutton ranks. Harvey's throwing. Howell heads it out. Just means that Brentford move up the field slowly but surely. Progressing. Look, giving Sutton another worry or two, but Hendra gets it away. Holford flicks it on. Can't find Wells. Here's Cassie Brown now. Forward towards Darcy Wells. Keane picks it up instead, but Keane not able to turn on the sixpence that she had in the midfield. Oliver's pass straight to Rebecca Edwards. Nadia Peters. Hendra recovers, but unfortunately won't be able to keep it in. Says, according to the referee, there's 3 minutes remaining. We are playing the second minute of additional time now. He is stopping the watch while Brentford have these moments to have possession and possibly the opportunity to threaten the Sutton goal. Backhurst. Troth gets it back for Brentford again. Just too far ahead for Sharon Reid. He's had a fair few looks at that. Watch the referee now. Backhurst throwing. Brown. Keeps on going, Brown. Neves is best on the far side. Cannot get the ball in front of her, but she will receive it. Sutton throw bodies into the box. It's gone for a few of them. It came off of a Brentford player last. And Boycott was happy to see that one going back in her hands. It was a very scary moment for the Brentford back line. How much more will he allow? I dare say I'm quite sure it's 4 minutes because they asked how many was remaining. It was 3. We must be in that final minute now. Colliver. Holford the target. Flicked out a play by Harvey. One last throw for Sutton United. Paul Loughlin, the photographer's become a ball boy now. He's playing his part. Brown. It's a great run from Cassie Brown. Goes for the effort from a long way out. Hawthorne has to make a quick decision and opts to poke it back to Howell. You don't need to be facing your own goal at this point. Keane does well, getting away from 3 Brentford players. Howell, though, denied the opportunity to thread the ball through. Howell again. Brentford retrieve possession. They will feel satisfied with that. And he calls time on the game as the referee. The final whistle goes. Quite the entertaining 0-0. And despite Sutton's best efforts, today it is just a point. What a game it was though. Chances are plenty in the second half for Sutton United. In the second half. Probably and by far the best one falling to Darcy Wells when Emily Boycott, who's in the end picks up a clean sheet, dropped the ball inside her own penalty area. And Wells, for all the world, could have opened the scoring, put it wide of the post. Mika Keane more or less could have joined that party of opportunists who hit the post thanks to a great save from Emily Boycott later on in the game. Hawthorne had 2 opportunities for herself, but in the end, Brentford, while not mustering a lot in attack, have been resolute and disciplined in defence today and have earned a point for all their trouble. So, credit where credit's due. As I've stressed already, they looked the well-drilled side, they looked the part, and they played the part. It's again like the goals today as it ends 0-0 here at Gander Green Lane. So, that's it from us. What's a football match? Most 0-0s are normally not very entertaining, but this one certainly was. And while that is the end of Sutton's 100% record in the league, they stay unbeaten. It is a point, but food for thought for Duncan Muller to ponder on before the next game. And their next game, I believe that's next week in the Intermediate Cup. The competition Sutton got to the semi-finals of last season. We'll give you more of an update on that on our Sutton United Women's Twitter feed, so keep an eye on that and also on the highlights of this game, which will be on our SCSE YouTube channel. I believe we have an update on, I hate to touch on the men's team, but for those who like watching our stuff whenever it's free on FCSE TV, we have found out that the Surrey Senior Cup will be shown here as Sutton are participating in that competition this season. So you can watch our game against Shearwater here on YouTube. We'll announce closer to the time when that game will be played and when we'll go live for that one. So keep an eye on that one in the near future. As well as that, as always, if you want to keep following on Sutton's fantastic run so far in EFL League 2 in the men's aspect, you can join us on iFollow next Saturday from Crawley, and not such a far trip at all to Crawley next week, as Sutton visits a familiar foe from the non-league days. And then the following week after that will be, following that we have 2 more games here. We have Swindon here on the Tuesday week, and then on the Saturday it's Rochdale before Colchester away, and all of those on iFollow. You'll find out, get the opportunity to get your match passes and all that sorted on our website. For the women's team, we'll be back hopefully we'll be back soon, hopefully next week, or if not the week after, with a game for you. But until then, it's been a pleasure bringing it to you. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everyone. And from me, Armin, and the whole SCSE TV team here at the VBS Community Stadium, it ends 0-0. Sutton United's women's side stay unbeaten today, but they were made to work hard for just the point. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.